read whether he...
All right. So
So
your
yesterday,
hair is all back to regular.
yeah,
It looks nice.
Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah. So I pinned up my hair yesterday also after oiling my hair. So
Yeah.
it was like kind of a, not a bun because I have cut my hair short.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So do you have to work? You already worked today. Today is it's 8 o'clock there. So how was your first day back after the weekend?
Yeah, it is good. As I told you, I have a senior who is kind of takes long to decide on something. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that is the only problem. But he is a nice man also.
Good. That makes up for some of it, huh?
Yeah. So I told him
Good.
today that I have to do something, you know. So then he asked, you can do this and this simultaneously. I said, one of them I can do for certain period of time. Then I can take up the other. Uh, and then
Mm-hmm.
then the third one that he was saying. Yeah. He accumulates a lot of things together, and then yeah. So I had given a small note today. Task number 1, task number 2, 3, 4, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he
He's
said,
used to you. He's multitasking, huh?
so with him, it is kind of instant reaction. Some people feel like that. I also at times feel like that. If you see somebody working engrossed with something, then he will remind me of something else. Did you do that?
Yeah. There are a lot of management styles out there, aren't there?
Yeah. So he is the person who is responsible for things which are not bringing result right now. So he thinks about long term, and he believes that if you keep on doing something, then in the long run it brings result, which is true. But
Mm-hmm.
we also need to have, if we are doing something, then some outcome needs to be identified. Otherwise, people around will think that we are doing nothing. So that is
Yes.
where he misses out. He actually forgets about what to be done. So another peculiar thing is, when there are many people are involved, I insist on having a group, WhatsApp group, so that whatever is being told, everybody knows without me being worried
Yeah.
about whether I told that person or not, this person or not. So he didn't like it last time, but today he told we need to have one WhatsApp group. I, I told him, yes, I told you so.
You meet in person? You meet in person in a group?
I like,
Oh, the group gets together in person?
no, in the WhatsApp group, you know,
Oh. Oh.
WhatsApp. Actually, people are from different places, different towns, cities,
Oh.
and even different
Oh.
countries now.
Mm.
So
Okay.
it is very difficult to keep track whom I told what. And then,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
so it is like sometimes he insists that the mail should go from his end. Then he forgets. Now, once I pass it on to him, I don't remember. But again, it will come to me. So I have to keep a watch on him also, whether he is doing it or not.
Yeah.
It is a double responsibility at times. So when I pass it over to him, then it is his job. So he said, no, 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 no. you have to see whether I have done it or not. Unless it is done, your job is not over. He keeps on saying. I say, I
that's
remind
like
him 4 or 5 times.
that's like somebody saying, "Call me and remind me." It's like,
Yes.
what? Aren't you a grown up?
Yes. So
Yeah.
he's like that. So the positive thing about this particular arrangement is now I'm learning to deal it mm, with a software. You cannot do it.
Okay.
I tried maintaining it in Excel, but if you see my Excel sheet, it is like going everywhere. Every
No.
task, so many subtasks and not manageable. So uh, I have started learning one project management software. That is the positive thing out of this because it will help me in my coaching also. I'll teach that to whoever is coming to my course.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So there's a benefit, huh?
Yeah,
Good.
so everything,
Cool.
every difficulty leads you to some benefit, you know. So, yeah, that
Yeah.
is for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh, I started listening. I started listening to the Carlos Castaneda book. I haven't read many of his books, but but I read one a long time ago,
Oh,
and it's very. What you sent me is very interesting. Very interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Lot many concepts, but he says everything will be beyond rationality. So you have to think, and you don't know. After rationality, we don't know anything beyond that. So maybe that is
Yeah.
what.
There's there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. When he started, at the beginning, when he starts getting into the sorcery stuff, my ears really perked up because
Yeah,
I have had I've had one or two people who are very in tune with their psychic ability, and they have said to me, this one man in Ohio was trained by his mother and his grandmother and aunts. Anyway, he's often said to me, "You should be doing that," meaning doing readings and stuff. But I've never been called to do that. There's
yeah,
so many people out there doing it. And, if I have a psychic hit on something or an intuitional hit on something, depending on who it is, I will tell them. But as I started listening to the audio book, I started thinking that there's more that I could do for myself with what and I think that's why you sent it to me for personal growth. Yeah, I think I'll listen to a lot of different parts of it more than once.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Yes.
as you listen to it, we can also discuss about it because this is very interesting stuff. I am sure I didn't have all those experiences that you had. So my understanding will be a lot less. Although I too think myself to be with that ability psychic, but as I told you, a lot of surprising things keep happening with me. So it all
Yeah.
is pushing me to go towards that, but I cannot
Yeah.
do it like that. It has to be some mentor or something has to appear
Yeah.
for me to give that direction. So yeah, I understand that. Sometimes in when I was 15 or 16, somebody then sometime later, some like say in regular interval, there have been people who asked me to come to them to learn this because they saw that particular ability. But I was too afraid. No, as it is, I don't
Mhm.
like the subject of sexuality to discuss with men. That has been my
Yeah.
apprehension. And there is a lot that gets discussed within this kind of thing. So no, but yes.
Yeah, you want to be discerning about who you talk with certain things about, for sure. One of the you just reminded me the thing that when I said yesterday I wanted to tell you something else, the
Yeah.
thing that came to my mind a couple years ago was I have felt invaded. My body has felt invaded.
Oh.
It hasn't felt, I haven't felt like I have found a person that I made an intimate trade with. And that realization came to me a couple years ago. It was after I moved down here to West Virginia, and I was looking at why am I not interested in dating? And it just came to me that I have just felt invaded before, and not comfortably invaded. So as a result, I thought at one point, well, I'll consider, I'll consider dating again. So I went to my doctor, and a woman doctor here in town who I like a lot. And I asked her for this hormone cream with the intention of it working to start, making your body pliable again and juicy and all that stuff. And it took me a long time. It took me a year after she wrote the prescription to even consider using it. And I decided that I wanted to put it on the outside of my skin instead of putting it inside my body with a little plunger thing. And then lo and behold, I lost the stuff somewhere. I think when I went to Albuquerque, I either left it out there last winter, but I don't even know where the cream is anymore. And at this point, it's kind of a moot point, because I figure if I need to get to that place, my intuitive self will tell me how to get there. But yeah, when I don't consider, I know a lot of people have had experiences where, when they were kids, they were molested. Most of my women friends back in Ohio have that unfortunate experience. That didn't happen to me as an adult. When the closest thing I came to that as an adult, when I lived in Indiana and had after my second divorce, I was dating a guy in a neighborhood, and in my neighborhood, and there was something about him, I guess I didn't totally know, or didn't totally understand, or didn't totally trust. And I learned that he had been in jail for for um for getting into a fight with a woman, somebody that he dated, I don't know. But anyway, he stayed over at my house one night and he woke me up in the middle of the night. He wanted to have sex in the middle of the night. And I had just found out that he had beat this person up, right? And I was still asleep. He woke me up. I didn't want to have sex in the middle of the night. And I remember saying to myself, okay, he could get mad at me, and if I say no. So all I did was just lay there, and he had sex with me, and that's the last I ever saw of him. I don't consider that as a violation, because I said okay, because I made the choice that rather than take a chance that he might get violent. He had never shown me any violent parts of himself, but just the fact that I learned that little bit about him put me enough on the edge, that was it for him. I never saw him again. I never talked to him again, and that was fine with me. So I think that was the basis for feeling invaded. Even though I said, okay, let's get this over with, and that's it for you. I think that was part of of my feeling of being invaded. And so I'm just keeping myself for myself until, until or if I make some other choice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, I, yeah, yeah, I can't say that I have ever had a relationship with anyone, if any of those people in my life that has, well, Vincent and I had a pretty decent sex life, but most of the partners I've had, and it's not been, like I can't use this as a flip side and say, oh, this one's not about you, this is about them. I'm still the common denominator in this situation. So there are issues that I still obviously have to deal with if I want to find somebody to have a mutual and interactive and enjoyable and joyful sexual experience with. Um, I'm sure that I have work to do on myself and with myself, and I get a sense that maybe this book will help, give me some insights. But I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. I don't feel, I don't feel like I've, like if I died tomorrow, I don't, or tomorrow or today or in the next 5 minutes, I don't feel like I've missed out on anything. Because as we know, being in sexual intimate you can have an intimate relationship with someone and never have sex with them. So we'll see. I'm just going to like everything else, I'm just going to let it unfold and learn what I learn. If I feel like I need to learn more about stuff, I will. And then we'll see how I apply it.
So
Yeah.
this experience with that person
Mm-hmm.
was last year, or like you were saying, you felt invaded. It was because of that person, or you felt all of a sudden?
The experience with him was more than 20 years ago.
Oh,
But my thought about being invaded was only like 2 years ago. So I don't know yet if they're related. Uh, I think the feeling of feeling invaded has been a cumulative feeling. I don't think it was just because of him. I
mm,
don't think it was just because of. I think it's been accumulating, and so I need a shift. I need a shift in my head.
mm,
And I don't go around thinking that every day. It's just it's the most recent thought
mm.
that I have had regarding a sexual relationship with anyone. So yeah. So I need to I need some new insights. I think that's a good way to say it. Yeah, I need some new insights.
So this is this kind of incidences are pretty unsettling. So far as whoever I have interacted with regard to sexuality and being um, forced into having sex, I have seen, I felt, I experienced their trauma, kind of. I have
Mm-hmm.
always felt that, and I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if somebody has that feeling long time after.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that yeah, so very terrible kind of thing. But
Yeah.
Sophie, I have heard two people, Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. John D. Martini, two people.
Okay.
Both of them are working in this field. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neurophysicist, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which means he has examined all the neurons of our brain. He had somehow he has pictured that what happens when we are in several kind of emotions, when we feel whatever we feel, how the neurons are. He has picturized all of them. So he knows
Okay.
what
Mm-hmm.
kind of emotion we are going through. And he has actually devised a mechanism to change that pattern, to change the emotion back. You
Mm.
understand? So,
Yes.
um, uh, so now he has made it very scientific. It is not within our head. We are not being asked to deal with it. We Somebody can deal with it also,
Wow.
which means you, if you know, then if you observe that you are having this kind of emotion, know this kind of emotion, then you choose another emotion and
Mm-hmm.
jump into it right then. You will change your pattern then and there.
Okay.
And his very popular dialogue, always it comes out, is neurons that wire together, fire together.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
So when you are in this particular neuron mechanism, then they are
Mm-hmm.
firing in one certain direction. The,
Right.
the moment you jump into that mechanism, your neurons have started firing in another direction, that positive direction, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
after some time, they make themselves to be that, not this anymore.
Okay. So you
And,
change the pattern
yeah,
after you do it. You have to keep doing it, right?
and this can happen within a day if you choose to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
a person who is deep into trauma,
Yeah.
they need some hand holding to be not thinking that and
Yes.
thinking this. But if you know now the concept, you can do it yourself because you are not
Yeah.
into that intense trauma right now. So whatever trauma
Right.
you have, some residual trauma, it will go instantly. So
Mm-hmm.
he
I
says,
should. I know who. Uh, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, you were saying something? You were saying
Oh,
something?
your picture is frozen.
Oh, my internet is bit. Now it's okay?
No, I can hear you, but your picture is still frozen. There. Okay. Now you're all right.
Okay. So
Go
now,
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So, um, uh, what he has done with this mechanism is when we are thinking something negatively, we in this this culture, this Indian culture, or whatever you can say, they think our body as 5 bodies. So,
Oh,
5 bodies.
like the astral body, the ones that go
Yes,
beyond
yes.
it.
Yes. So there are 5 bodies. You can say this air, water, earth, whatever, fire, all those bodies are there.
Oh, oh,
And
okay.
only one body we can see, the earth body or whichever body you
Right.
can. The other 5 we are not able to see, but those exist. Now, when you are thinking consistently negatively, one of those body gets punctured and
Ah,
we attract diseases because of that. Not because of any physical thing, but because of our thought, we attract that kind of thing into our body. And there is, if you go to one art of living site, somewhere I have
mm,
read that what kind of disease? Because of what kind of thought?
Right. That sounds like Louise Hay.
Louis Hay also. Yes.
Yeah.
Which means we can prevent all those diseases if we are not going in that direction, which means
Mm.
we can cure ourselves instantly. And he has
Mhm.
cured many people instantly. So, just one lady was there. I was reading his audiobook. If I can, I'll pass that on to you also. So,
Okay.
this lady was down to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She lost everything, her body, her parents, her husband, everything she had lost. Only she had two or three friends who wanted her to be okay. And so they brought her to this Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshop.
Mm-hmm.
She was into her full force within 2 days.
Wow.
And she
Wow.
because of that she recovered everything eventually. And this not only Dr. Joe Dispenza, another person is Dr. John D. Martin, who is actually a coach, but he helps you um, the same thing almost, but there is no medical aspect involved. But he does the
Mm.
same. So he cured a girl who had been raped by four people when she was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he makes people to see every incident in a different from a different perspective.
Okay.
So he actually made her believe that this incident was in fact a blessing for her.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how, but
Yeah.
he does that to people.
Right.
So these were the two things, because when I see hear things, I get lot troubled inside myself. I
Mm-hmm.
somehow feel that this was an incident with me sometime. I don't know
Okay.
when. So, but because I get affected so much, that is why
Yeah.
I don't watch TV. I
Yeah.
don't watch any negative movie, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I protect myself from that.
Right.
I don't even read newspaper because the newspaper is full of that.
Yeah.
So, but you cannot help. Sometimes it comes, to you.
Right. Yes.
But that mechanism I have, although I don't know exactly how to do it perfectly, but I can get out of that. So
Good.
it
What's the second name? His name is John something, you said?
yes, Dr. John D. Martini.
Martini? John
Yes,
D. Martini.
yes.
I'll check him. John D. He I've not heard of him. I'll check him out.
Yeah, yeah. So he actually has created a value system. He has a set of 14 or 15 questions. And
Mm-hmm.
why we learn that is because it is free in his website. If you go and check your value system, then it will come up and you can check your value system also. Value system means if I have found out mine, I have found out six. The top three are dignity, joy,
Uh-huh.
and abundance. So,
Dignity, joy, and abundance. Okay. All
but
right.
you can find yourself. It depends on what has been your experience, and
Sure.
it keeps on changing. And when so, for example, suppose a person who is not employed right now, so his priority will be a job. His second priority will be his parents. and third priority will be health,
Mm.
for an example. But once he
Mm.
gets job and is well established, then his priority may change to health, parent, and job in that order.
Sure.
So it keeps on changing. But for me, dignity and joy, these two will always be top because it is independent of circumstances. It is
Mm.
because that is what I work for. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Dignity, and I want to be joyful. So I don't want
Mm.
to be negative at at any point of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm okay. So many people ask me, what about integrity and honesty? So I say
Mm-hmm.
dignity is much more than integrity and honesty. It is actually
Mm-hmm.
sum total of many positive things which leads to
Mm-hmm.
dignity. So if
Mm-hmm.
you you can be within your integrity range, but it might be so that you will not be after dignity. Maybe your
Mm-hmm.
dignity is at stake. But I won't
Yeah.
let dignity go from me at any cost.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you decide on dignity and joy, then all your work, all your life will be centered around those values.
Mm-hmm.
And you will interpret your things in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, for whatever value system you will find out, your things will revolve around that only. So that is how I know Dr. John DeMartini, but I also know that he has changed people's perspective on very negative things to
Mm-hmm.
very positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the things, this is exactly what you're talking about. When I began working with Mary Morrissey in September, she talked about the blocks that you have and changing them. And I did very consciously change the belief of not being worthy, to that I just started substituting. Her affirmation was something about, I'm more than my circumstances. I'm more than any circumstance, situation I find myself in. And then she also constantly reminds you that you are spirit in a human form. So between using uh, those two affirmations and insights and substituting those instead of, um, I made some big shifts, so that it was very valuable to do that work with her. But I'll see what Martini's value system is, and see how that works out for me, because I do need to shift something in this arena for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Good deal.
Yes, but in the meantime, also you can listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza's audios. There are a lot
Yeah.
of this thing, and in the book he says the same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't miss out on anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's so many people, there's somebody for every person, no matter whether you're a beginner or you've been doing this for a long time. Like you said, you may not have had the same experiences as me, but we're not talking to one another by accident. So we are on the same, we're exchanging a lot of information with one another. So your experiences are different than mine, but no less than or more than. We have a lot to share. Like what we always heard: when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. And I always when I hear friends, like I hear a lot of friends say, or a lot of people say, oh, I'm not creative. And what I say to them is, everyone is creative. You just have to find your niche. And, I have all kinds of examples of working with people at all different levels. And, but they have to be open and willing. Yeah. If you're not open and willing to see your own creativity, then, I'm just talking to the wind. But if somebody's really interested in that, because I always say, if you can balance your checkbook, that's an art form to me, because that was a real hard thing for me until online banking started to happen. My checkbook, I never knew exactly how much money was in my checkbook. And then once online banking happened, every day I knew where I was. I just needed that one more tool that I didn't have. And so now, life is very different regarding that. But you have to be willing, I had to be willing to use online banking and not just go around saying, I'm never going to learn how to do this. So, yeah. Yeah. Being willing, you even have to, I've even heard myself say to people, are you willing to be willing? If you're willing to be willing, that's a big step, Ugh. There's a man here in town. He and his son live together in a cabin, a pretty rough cabin, way back off the road. You would never find it. They bought it intentionally way back so nobody can get to them. They are not very trusting of the systems. The son is in his 20s and he doesn't even have a social security number yet, because his father was afraid, to get him one for his own various reasons. Well, the dad, the dad is I'm guessing he's in his mid 50s. He has all kinds of health issues. And I went over there a lot of times this summer and I played my harp on him. He would lay on the floor in the cabin and I would put my harp on him and play. And he was open one-on-one. He's more open than in a crowd, which makes sense. And he told me a lot of things about himself that were very painful for him. They have 5 boys and his wife left him. And he was saying to me, I don't think she's upset about anything. I don't think she's mad about anything, because he keeps talking about how he can't forgive. And like, duh, there you are saying the things that you aren't willing to look at. And one day it hit me. I said, would you be happy if she moved to Alderson, this wife that you can't imagine why she left? Would you be happy if she moved here? And he wasn't happy with that either. It's like, oh no, I don't want. So he's not willing to have any kind of conversation with her. He's not willing to do this. He was willing to look at some things, but I don't know how willing he is to change anything. So right now, unless he's come home, he's in the hospital here with liver issues, heart issues, eye issues. He can hardly see. He's been driving and he shouldn't be. Everybody else is in danger when he's on the road. So his whole system is in upset. And we don't know how long he's going to last. I mean, you can tell he used to be strong. He used to do a lot of physical work. And he's very creative. He makes online gaming, does gaming and creates games. So I don't know, he has a lot of people here who are concerned about him and his son. We just don't know which direction he's going to go in. We don't, there's nothing more. And I've said to him, everything you need to do. It's just a matter of whether you're going to do it or not. So he may take himself off the planet, in a short